This week on the podcast, we've written songs about 1984's The Karate Kid.
Robbie, I got to tell you, I did everything they did in this movie. I waxed a bunch of cars. I painted a fence. I painted a house. I sanded a deck. Joined a junior karate tournament. They handed my keister to me on a silver platter, brother.
Did they at least warm it up first?
No, I ate it cold.
Oh, no one likes raw keister.
No.
Hello, and welcome to the Royds Review Podcast. I'm Rob.
And I'm Andy.
And we are back once again talking about 1984's The Karate Kid. Andy, how you did?
I did good, Rob.
Good.
Yeah, how about you?
I did good too. I did well, Andy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Asked me how I did, and now he does well.
Yeah, I do. I do Welsh. Welsh Corgi, bark, 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 bark. That is a dog.
How about Welsh fruit snacks?
Oh, like the little grapefruits. Welch's makes grape juice. I almost said grape drink.
Yeah. But they also make the fruit snacks. And you know what? If you eat them on an empty stomach and your name is Andy Jafaris, you get heartburn real bad.
Really?
Yeah. If I eat like any fruit snack with nothing else in me, it's the worst heartburn I'll ever get in my life.
It's probably the acidity.
Almost definitely.
You should take some ice with it. Or freeze them first and then eat them. So this way the ice counteracts the heartburn.
I don't know if you're doing a bit or if this is sound advice.
Try it. See what happens.
I'm scared.
But remember, in Pokemon, fire is good against ice. So you never know. Or take it with milk because that helps with spicy foods. How do you do with spicy foods? If Welch's fruit snacks give you heartburn, what does like a spicy Indian food give you?
Surprisingly, I'm fine. It's just, I think it's like you said, the acidity. But hot sauce and like hot foods usually don't give me the heartburn. They'll give me fart burn, if you know what I'm saying.
Whoa! What about oranges?
Yeah, they give me heartburn.
It's the acidity.
Yeah. The acidic Jews. They're very hot to the touch.
Stupid.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
That was very stupid.
Yeah.
Andy?
Yes.
We're here talking about 1984's Karate Kid.
That's incredible.
Yeah, you went on this whole rant about heartburn and shit, and I need to bring us back.
Listen, you can't put that all on me, Robbie.
I can, and I did.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
it's true.
Isn't that amazing? Perception is reality.
Well, you know what, Robbie? I'm glad that you brought up that it came out in the year of our Megazord, 1984. Because according to this list, the top grossing movies, this is domestic. I could not find worldwide for 1984.
Domestic. Never mind. We're not going to do that.
Okay.
I'm not going to make that joke.
Number 4 is The Karate Kid.
Ooh, very successful.
Very successful. I believe, actually, I know worldwide it made around 150 mil, I believe.
Chump change.
By today's standards, kind of. But the budget was $8 million.
That's a lot of money. This did really well.
That is a lot of money. Did really well.
This was a real sleeper hit, according to Wikipedia.
Yeah. I don't think anybody expected that.
You like how I cite my sources? Wikipedia.
Yeah. It's pretty good. Number 3, though, is Gremlins. With $148 million domestic, of course.
I've never seen Gremlins.
I don't remember if I have. I've definitely seen a movie with Gremlins, so it was either the first one or the second one.
Or you could have just seen a different movie with Gremlins in it, Andy.
What other movie has Gremlins in it?
I mean, gremlins are like a little creature. I'm sure there are other movies that have little things called gremlins in it.
No, but it was like these. It was like these guys. Like it had Gizmo in it.
Was Hulk Hogan in it?
Maybe. I know Columbo was in it. The guy who plays Columbo.
Was there a really meta scene where Hulk Hogan stops the movie in the theater or something?
I don't remember.
Okay, because that's Gremlins 2, a movie I still haven't, another movie I haven't seen, but I know wrestling cameos.
He knows wrestling cameos like the back of his ass.
Which I guess the back of an ass is my front.
Yes. And he
So
he just looks down. That's his front. Yeah.
I got to do a little searching, but I find it eventually.
Number 2 is previous episode. Check it out. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
The Temple of Zoom. We're on Zoom right now.
Wow. $179 million.
Okay.
Yeah. And number 1 is Ghostbusters with $229 million.
Who are you going to call my mommy?
That's good.
Hello, mommy. There's a ghost.
Ah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Top movies of 1984, and now we could show that segment, The Door.
Very good, Robbie.
Thanks. It's all about rhymes. You talk about that all the time in podcast class.
You talk about rhymes all the times. Wow. In podcast classed.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Iconoclast. Lisa the Iconoclast, a Simpsons episode. Really good one. With Donald Sutherland. Andy, should we talk about The Karate Kid?
Almost definitely, Robbie.
Starring Ralph Macchio as Dan Karate Kid.
Yep.
Right? That's his name in the movie?
No.
Oh. This movie opens up with Dan and his mom moving across the country from Newark to San Francisco. Before we get into it, I forgot to ask Andy, had you seen The Karate Kid before?
I had not. No.
Me
This was
neither.
my first viewing. And you know what? When I booted it up on the Hulu, right?
Mhm.
And Hulu said, the following is for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised. And I said, why?
That's funny. It did the same thing for me, and I had watched it earlier in the week because I wound up renting it at first because Hulu didn't pop up earlier in the week. And I watched it at work, and I was like, oh, that was a PG movie. That was family friendly. And then, yeah, I watched it on Hulu and like, oh, viewer discretion is advised. I'm like, I don't think so.
Yeah. Weird.
But okay. I think this opening of Dan and his mom moving across the country is very effective to get to meet Dan and his mom. We see their dynamic. I also really like the score here because they play a bit of downtown in there as they're traveling.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a good characterizing scene. They're a tight family, even though it's just him and his mom, but they love each other.
Yeah, and we see they're down on their luck because we watch them. The car breaks down and they have to start it up at the motel.
Yeah.
I really like this opening, and it helps you just like, okay, we're entering the movie now. We are in the world of the movie. We have learned who these people are without wasting time.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
we're right into it.
And you know what? I wish it was this easy to make friends. Because your boy makes friends immediately.
Right as they arrive home, he kicks the gate open. So this kid's 17 and still obsessed with this class at the Y he took for karate. And it's like, all right, dude. But he absolutely annihilates this guy, Freddy.
Yeah, he's dead. He died later that night. He had a
I'm
concussion.
surprised his nose didn't explode on impact.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate how positive the mom is as they arrive at their new home.
Yeah.
Because they just drove from Newark, New Jersey to Reseda, California. And this whole time, she is nothing but positive.
It's incredible.
And this has to suck for her as much as it sucks for him.
Yeah, for sure. But you gotta put on the big brave face, make sure your kid adjusts,
Oh, yeah. I mean, we learned she doesn't even really have a job yet. Dan lies to this guy, Freddy. He's like, oh, yeah, she got a job working in computers or something like that. But then we see her out and applying for jobs. Like, that's brutal.
Yeah.
But it also leads me to a question. Why did you move across country without having a job lined up?
So I assumed that she had that job that they were talking about, but maybe it wasn't enough, and so she was doing like a second job. I don't know. It's kind of in the background,
Yeah, but I feel like this is one of those things where I just got the implication he's embarrassed that his mom doesn't have a job. And we see her, and she's really hyped that she's getting this manager's position later. So I don't think she has this other job, or else you wouldn't be applying for a manager position at a Chinese restaurant.
Right. Maybe they went all the way there, and then like the job fell through. And start scrambling, But that would be a plot point.
Yeah, like you wouldn't just. Yeah, I think he's lying. I don't think she ever had the job. I think there's more to this moving across the country that was probably cut out because they said, who cares?
Yeah, a bit much.
Yeah.
Also, it's easy to be like, especially in the 80s, to be like, I don't know, it's with like computers or something. And, in the 80s, it's just like, all right, whatever that means.
Yeah, exactly. Computers were such a foreign concept at that point.
Yeah.
They're like, all right, I know people do stuff with them, but I don't know what they do.
Yeah, I've seen war games.
The pool at their new place is absolutely awful. There's an older woman. She tells Dan to go back to New Jersey because this place is a dump. And she also claims she knows that they're from New Jersey because she has a nose for her own. But Dan's mom just told her where they're from. But they are also the most New Jersey people of all time.
There's a lot of "hey" in this movie.
Yeah. Like, there was no doubt the minute that mom opened her mouth, oh, she's from New Jersey.
Yeah.
And Dan, too.
I liked how the lady's like, oh, you know Lawrence? And he's like, yeah, I know Lawrence. She's like, Lawrence, Jefferson? He's like, oh, no, I know a different Lawrence.
Well, they were specifically referencing, I know what you're talking about, his Uncle Louie, because that was
Louie,
the person, He says, like, oh, goodbye to Uncle Louie or something as they're pulling away from New Jersey. Which is still weird that, so they still have family in New Jersey. Like, they're not, I still don't get why they moved.
I don't know. For the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We gotta go do a Karate Kid.
Remember, my last name is Karate Kid.
Yeah, I gotta do this. I gotta.
Dan's mom sends him out to find the maintenance man. This is crazy, but this was also before I realized how old Dan was in this movie. Because at this point, I thought he was like 14 years old.
Yeah, he looks super young.
Yes.
Especially compared to all these 80s guys.
Yeah, these grown men he's fighting.
Yeah.
But he gets sent down to the maintenance room and he meets Mr. Miyagi, who's trying to catch a fly. And he basically tells Dan that he'll get to fixing their faucet eventually. He'll get it.
Yeah.
After
I catch this fly.
Yeah. I really like when Dan says to his mom, I got invited to a party. Oh, but you asked me to stay and help. And she goes, I don't remember doing that.
Yeah.
She's a great mom. She really wants her son to make friends, to fit in, to have a good time. The effort is there. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Really like the characterization of the mother in this.
Yeah.
We're at the beach, and Dan's playing soccer with the boys, and he locks eyes with a young lady, and he is immediately smitten, and he starts juggling a soccer ball to impress her. Very good. From this point forward, though, there is barely a second in this movie without a pop song playing.
Is that true?
That's what it feels like.
I don't remember.
From this point forward, you're just inundated with like 80s pop music.
Yeah, I can recall certain ones, but I don't not believe you. It's a double negative. It's confusing.
It is confusing.
Believe you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I don't remember. I don't remember that happening.
Yeah, I watched it twice, and the first time I watched it, I was like, they really hit you with a lot of music. And then when I watched it again, I was like, oh, they definitely hit you with a lot of music.
You know, it brings me to something somewhat unrelated. But
I can't wait.
Yeah. So the American dub of Dragon Ball Z, they said that like, yo, you gotta have music playing at all times because the kids are dumb and they'll get bored. So if you watch the original dub of Dragon Ball Z, the Funimation dub, I think, there's constantly music playing.
Really?
Constantly, yeah, and it is a bit much. So maybe it's like that. They're like, oh, kids are dumb.
That's very possible.
Yeah.
It's also very 80s, because when I mentioned it to Laura, she said it's very 80s to do that.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah. Dan teaches Allie how to juggle a soccer ball, and Johnny and a bunch of dudes show up on motorcycles. Johnny is the absolute worst, because he, like, demands Allie talk to him. But it's also hilarious when Dan's trying to teach Allie how to juggle the soccer ball. He goes, you start with this, and he hits it once. It was like, okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure she knew that part.
Yeah. And we see later that she's like pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's clear he's like nervous.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
It's cool. It's nice, cute little,
young
high school
love
romance. Yeah, yeah.
And they call it puppy love.
Who?
It's a song, Andy.
Yeah, who calls a puppy love, Robbie?
I do.
I want names.
Fred, Velma, Daphne, Scooby, Shaggy.
The gang?
Yeah, the gang.
Oh
the gang calls it puppy love. Or then
That's
Scrappy
crazy.
shows up.
Everybody's like, no, Scrappy.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Well, classic 80s jerks, though. Classic.
Oh, yeah. Because
They got their jackets. They got their bikes. They got their karate. They're rude.
These group of high schoolers all show up on their motorcycles and immediately break this girl's radio.
Yeah, and all I keep wanting to call him Ralph, but all Daniel, he just picks it up, and they're like, put it down, and he's just like, hey, I'm just picking this up, and they're like, we'll beat the shit out of you, brother, and he's like, I'm just picking up a radio, man.
Well, we also then get the transitive property of friendship, because after Dan gets his butt kicked, all of Freddy's friends laugh at him. They're like, oh, some friends you pick up. Ha, ha, ha.
Yeah.
If he got his butt kicked, you got your butt kicked. It's the transitive properties of friendship. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They do completely abandon him for the rest of the movie.
That's it. They're like, he gets his... But again, this is why I thought it was weird. I didn't realize they were the same age, because I thought this was like a 17 or 18-year-old kicking the crap out of like a 14-year-old. And I was like, why isn't anyone stopping them?
Yeah, they're the same age. They're just on that HGH, you know?
That's what it seems like.
Yeah.
They're on their cycle.
Yeah. But it's like you said, like would they, like the friends that abandoned him, are they gonna win that fight? No. So like, I just, it's kind of cruel and unusual, I thought.
I think it's one of those things where it's like, well, the cool kids showed up and beat the crap out of the new kid. And so that means we don't like the new kid because we got to appease the cool kids.
Now, like, I never really got like my ass like beat in high school or anything. But I'm pretty, like, all the fights I've witnessed, nobody's throwing a kick to the face. You know?
No. Well, it's because
imagine getting kicked in the face.
No one in our high school was a fucking karate master.
Right. But just like a kick to the, and like the sound effects, the sound design is good. Like, sounds like a real kick to the face.
They might have been.
And Ralph Macchio is very good at selling pain.
Yeah, great seller. That's what we
Yeah.
call in the wrestling business, a great seller. Great bumper, great seller. He really gives his opponent a lot. Makes his opponent look like $1 million.
That he did.
Actually, the guy who plays Johnny was a wrestler.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if he was an amateur wrestler or a professional wrestler, but I read that he was a wrestler and he had no karate experience. But it's like also like that must have been hard to find.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he does. He looks so much older than these rest of these kids, and I'm like, what is going on? I've been held back 3 years.
I'm 34.
At one point, he goes, "Ex-degenerates, I'm entering my senior year of high school,
Yeah.
and this is the year I'm really gonna shape up." It's like, what?
Yeah. Yeah. And like all of his goons, all of his friends are like real. First off, they're all like super Aryan.
Yeah.
Like all-
Oh, yeah.
Like that whole gym. Maybe keep an eye on Cobra Kai, brother. But
Oh, definitely. No, you're definitely keeping an eye on Cole. Once we meet their fucking instructor, yeah, you keep an eye on them.
yeah, their whole thing is like no mercy. It's like, guys, relax. That was just karate, man.
The next morning, Dan tries to hide his black eye from his mother, and she immediately is like, "Are you on drugs? Is my
Yeah, this-
baby boy on drugs?"
This is a good scene because she truly cares.
Yeah, she goes, "Let me see those baby browns."
Yeah.
And she's
And then he's like,
devastated.
I found my bike, Ma, I found my bike. What do you want? What do you want here? I'm from New Jersey.
Hey. I fell off my bike, Ma. I didn't want you to worry.
Yeah,
I'm 17
classic.
years old and I don't know how to ride a bicycle.
I don't want you to put the training wheels back on, Ma. I'm embarrassed.
Oh, Mom, you're breaking up the tricycle again, Ma.
I don't need the bell. I don't need the bell, Ma.
At school, Dan finally learns Allie's name, and then it's like a school-wide soccer gathering or the soccer team.
So
or
she says, sorry to cut you off, but she says it's Allie with an I. And he goes, it's Daniel with an L. Laniel?
I thought he was going to say, better line for the movie. He should have said, Daniel with the black eye.
Nice.
That would have been a better line because he had a black eye.
Yeah, yeah.
But what is this? Because everyone in the school is there. Is this gym class? Is this soccer club? Is this soccer team tryouts? Because some girls are doing cheerleading.
Yeah, this is kind of a classic high school scene in a movie.
Yeah.
Where everybody's just on the football field doing a different activity. Yeah.
And then
Strange.
as Dan is making a break with the ball, Johnny trips him and Dan immediately throws a right hook.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I get it. Because first off, you're a teenager, you're all pent up.
Yeah.
And this kid humiliated you in front of all the new people you know. And you just showed up. Like, this is your first day here and you got your ass beat. And we get a great scene of this later, but like all this is bubbling inside of him. So like, yeah, I don't. And then he's like, "This school sucks. This school sucks."
Yeah, because he gets kicked off the soccer team.
Yeah, he like pushes the teacher, and I was surprised that there wasn't any sort of repercussion for that.
No, in the 80s you could do that because your teacher could probably throw a right hand back at you.
Yeah, put you in a headlock.
Yeah, let's be honest. In the 80s, if you're a 17-year-old kid and you're throwing fists with your teacher's throwing fists right back.
Yeah. Listen, I'm a teacher. I'll throw fists.
Not to your kids.
They're in second grade.
Yeah, that's a problem, dude.
Turn a kid's head inside out with this thing.
Oh, no, Andy, those are brass knucks.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, you better do your homework, all right? I'm kidding, of course.
No, he's not. Dan
Robbie.
Dan practices karate in his apartment with his karate book. Mr. Miyagi comes to fix the faucet and questions Dan about the karate book and his eye. And Miyagi immediately calls him out on his bullshit because he's like, how come you didn't hurt your hand if you fell off your bike?
Yeah.
Dan goes into a karate studio, and the teacher is so hard-nosed. This is Cobra Kai studio, and the teacher's like, no mercy! And they're like, yes!
Yeah, and then he like trips a kid.
Yes! He's like he demands him to give me 60 push-ups on his knuckles or something.
Yeah.
Jesus.
First off, you're a grown man. Okay. Second off, I'm not in a defensive position. Like, you could trip anyone if they're just standing there. You know?
Yeah, it's nuts to do that.
You're crazy.
But
and I like how he sees Johnny, the bully.
Yeah.
And Johnny makes a face at him, and he's like, "Oh man, I can't practice here. Damn."
Because the teacher hands the class over to Johnny, and Johnny's like, "I'll fuck you up." He like gives him that look, like a little smirk, and he just is like, "I'm out."
Yeah, he's like, "I'll fuck you up, and then I'll fuck you down, bro."
Oh no! Oh no!
Yeah, I'll fuck you all around. And Danny's like, "I gotta get out of here."
Dan and his mom have a conversation at a restaurant. This is where we learn that his mom is apparently a manager in training or something like that.
Yeah.
Dan rides his bike home, and Johnny and the gang attempt murder.
Yeah.
By basically pushing him down into a ditch.
I mean, there's nothing. Well, there's things scary, but it's pretty scary to just be surrounded by goons. Like
on motorcycles.
Yeah, like I'm just a little baby boy from Jersey over here, and
I'm just a little guy.
You grown men are beating the shit out of me every day, like trying to live my life.
This is typical 80s bullies.
Yeah, just relentless, like Nazis, man.
Yeah,
they're from the Nazi dojo.
They'll commit murder if they think it's funny. They don't care.
Yeah, they're a bunch of future politicians, you know.
Dan throws his bike into the trash. I hate this freaking bike.
Yeah. Also, of note, Danny got a glass of milk at the restaurant. That's pretty 80s, huh?
That is very 80s. I don't like milk.
You remember drinking a glass of milk at a restaurant?
No, I never did that.
I did when I was a little kid. Until one day, you just wake up. You have an awakening. You're like, this is disgusting.
No, even when I was a kid, I hated the taste of milk. Like, I just hated it. Chocolate milk, fine. But milk? Ugh. Yeah, when I was a kid, I could tolerate milk with like a chocolate chip cookie or an Oreo. As an adult, you give me a cookie, I'll take a water with that. No milk for me, thank you very much.
Yeah, what about cereal?
But that's different. You have to have, you know.
I put Powerade in my cereal, brother.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, it's awful.
But you get electrolytes.
Yeah, that's what's important.
Yeah. Your sugar levels are too high. Dan begs his mom to take karate. And then he wants to go back to New Jersey, and this is all overheard by Mr. Miyagi. At school, Dan talks to Allie and her friend, and he lies about the type of bike he has. He then runs away from Johnny and his friends. So first he tells these girls, yeah, I got a motorcycle. Dude, they've all seen you riding your bike to school.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is all... He's been getting his ass beat for the past couple of days.
Yeah.
He's got really nothing going for him at this point, and he's like... So he's just making stuff up. And then, like, you know, he sees them and he's like, I gotta go. And Allie's like, come on, you gotta deal with this sometime. And I think he has a pretty, reasonable reaction where he's like, how about I deal with it the way I deal with it and you do? Because, like, she's like, you gotta deal with this sometime. Like, yeah, Allie, you're not the one getting your ass beat every day.
That's the thing. He's walking into a group of guys. It's not like it's one-on-one.
Right.
He's walking up to a group of guys who are just ready to beat the crap out of him.
Yeah. For no reason. He picked up a boombox.
I'd walk the other way too.
Yeah.
That's not... Listen, that's not cowardly. If he was running away from one guy, I'd be like, all right, dude, eventually you got to stand up to him and just get some licks in. But, like, in this situation, yeah, dude, turn the other way. Discretion is the better part of valor.
Right. Like, also, one guy, you can reason with one guy. You could be like, hey, man, how long are we going to do this? Because, like, I can't do this, so please stop.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to call the fucking cops, because this is terrorism. But, like, 5 dudes? You can't reason with 5 dudes.
No, well, and that's something that Miyagi says to the Cobra Kai instructor.
Yes.
He says 1-on-1 he could take it, but 1-on-5 you can't ask anybody to do that.
No.
And like for Ali to get all mad at him for being like, no, I'm bouncing is insane.
Yeah. And then later, like he ends up apologizing, and I was like,
well, he apologizes for something else, but I still don't think he has to apologize. This is a whole situation later where it's like a nice conversation would have done a lot of good.
Fortuitous.
But I think that ties into the fact that these people are young, they're emotional.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, this kid's been getting his ass kicked, and he just moved across the country. Like,
yeah, but it all comes to, I think, actually. So, he threw out his bike.
Yeah.
Right.
This is where now we're up to the part where he's getting home now.
Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
His bike is all fixed, and he goes to Mr. Miyagi, who had fixed his bike, and Miyagi teaches him how to maintain a bonsai tree. And he gives Dan and his mother each a tree as a gift and to practice, you know, working on them. I think that's a really nice scene.
Yeah, I'm also not entirely sure if Danny's mom is like, oh, thank you, that's very nice. Or if she's like, oh, thanks. Where am I going to put this?
I think she's genuine.
Okay.
I think she is genuine about it. I think she's a genuinely nice person.
True. Fortuitous. That's 2 times, Robbie. To backtrack a little bit, it all comes to a head, like his emotions, when he gets home, he throws his bike out, and he just cries to his mom. He's like, I just want to go home. Like, I didn't want to be here. And like, we showed up here and get my ass beat every day. It sucks. I hate it. And she's like, I don't know, son. I'm sorry over here. It's good stuff. Ralph Macchio, you know?
Yeah, he's good in this.
Yeah.
On Halloween, Daniel hangs out with Mr. Miyagi as Mr. Miyagi is carving and making jack-o'-lanterns. Miyagi talks him into going to the Halloween dance, and he shows up as a shower. 2 things. Number 1, today's day and age, no way you're able to show up at any school with that costume on.
No.
Number 2, there is a shockingly small amount of racist costumes at this dance for 1984.
Yeah, that's true.
It's all like, we're all like disco guys and we're skeletons. There was only like 1 Native American headdress. I was like, huh, all right, guys, let's go.
Yeah, pretty good. Honestly, I thought this movie was going to be more racist generally.
This movie aged immaculately.
Truly.
This movie aged great.
Yeah. But yeah, that's when clever disguise, because he can't be seen.
I've decided I might go as this next Halloween. I think this is a great costume. As a shower. That's fun.
Yeah. Okay, you mind if I join you?
Yeah, sure. I mean, Ali joins Dan, and I'm surprised the teacher didn't put a stop to that immediately.
Teacher's like, hey, let me get in there.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
You don't work here.
A guy dressed as a chicken comes through the dance and starts smashing eggs on people's heads, including Dan's, and everyone just has a good laugh about it. I'd be pissed.
Yeah.
I'm in here with a lady, brother.
Yeah, but this is the kind of, it's not bullying, it's just like shenanigans.
Right, because everyone's laughing at it.
Right, everybody moves on. Fine.
Yeah.
The other stuff, too much. You're doing way too much.
Well,
also, quick story. I was once on Halloween. My friends and I, we were like, covered in shaving cream and all this stuff. Just doing dumb guy stuff.
Yeah.
It was in like early high school.
Is this a story of you beating the shit out of a little kid?
No, I already told that one. This is a different one. Go back and listen, because I did not beat the shit out of a little kid. But
Andy was 16 years old, just pummeling this third grader.
I went into an orphanage and just started letting loose.
Dude, you're the one who painted the story in that light, not me.
I was throwing haymakers, brother. No, I'm like, we're in the middle of the street just like doing dumb stuff, and this family of I don't know where they were from. They did not speak English, but they pulled over and they were like, they had a camera and they were like they couldn't speak English, but they were like, we want a picture. And I was like, I don't know who you are. Okay. So they took a picture of me covered in shaving cream or whatever. And a friend of mine, I forget who, but they took an egg like in their palm and smashed it on my face.
Nice.
Like as they took the picture. And like they showed me the picture, like, oh, pretty cool. I was like, yeah, cool. And then they got back in their car. I was like, that was a bizarre experience, huh? And then everybody was like, yo, you're bleeding. And because the egg smashed, and I guess the shell like gashed my face, and I was bleeding. Cool story, huh?
That's an awesome story. I like my eggs bloody and runny.
Yeah, and on my face.
Yeah, I like.
Don't I have egg on my face?
Whoa! I like my eggs partially hatched.
Yeah.
Johnny and the gang are all skeletons, and as Johnny is rolling a J in the bathroom, Dan puts a hose above him and turns it on, starting to get a little revenge.
Yeah.
Johnny
ill-advised, honestly.
Runes his J.
Runes his J. Runes his day.
Oh.
But man, you gotta just ride it. You gotta like let this simmer down.
I don't know, man.
You're
I think this is smart.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just a coward. I'd just be like, hey, maybe if I just continue to exist, they'll like eventually forget about me.
I don't know. You got to start getting some sort of measure of revenge because it just keeps happening.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I do think part of it is if you would just kind of be like, Allie, listen, I keep getting my ass kicked because I'm hanging out with you. I'm not doing this because you don't seem to be standing up for me in any way.
Yeah. Well, she does later. And she did at first. You know, with the boombox.
But then when she's like yelling at him, like, you gotta face, he's like, I'm gonna get my butt kicked. I'm not doing this.
Yeah, I've been coughing up shoes because of how many shoes getting shoved in my ass.
Johnny chases Dan out of the dance, continuously slipping and falling. Even Allie trips him. Dan then causes a 3-car accident as he leaves the school.
Yeah, he gets on top of a car, too.
Johnny and the skeletons chase him down and really start pummeling him. And then one dude's like, Johnny, this is enough. He can't even stand.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm gonna kill him.
They're about to.
Yeah.
This dude is about to kill Dan.
Yeah.
Until Miyagi shows up and beats the hell out of Johnny and the gang.
Hell yeah, brother.
This old man goes to town on them.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah. And we get the POV where he's like, you know, he's like all woozy from getting cracked in the head with feet.
Yeah.
And he sees like the silhouette of Miyagi. And I was like, oh shit, this is pretty cool.
Miyagi helps Daniel heal up and he tells him that karate is for defense only. Johnny and the other guys have a bad teacher because their teacher is teaching them karate for the wrong reasons and teaching them to be merciless killers, basically.
Yeah.
Miyagi then has Daniel, an unlicensed teenager, drive them to the karate school.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the 80s, baby.
It's the 80s. Miyagi challenges Johnny to a match at the tournament, and they also set the rule that nobody can hurt Daniel until the tournament. That's really smart.
Yes, it's great. I like it. I like all... Honestly, Miyagi, chef's kiss, some of the best stuff in... I understand why this movie is so iconic.
Yes. Yeah. I really loved this. To be totally
I loved it as well. But the way he speaks to the straight up evil head of Cobra Kai.
Yes.
Like... it's all excellent, and he's just like, he's calm, he's got his demeanor, it's excellent, he's always in control.
Yeah,
just great stuff.
And I really like the teacher. The teacher at Cobra Kai clearly knows Miyagi is a badass because of all that. Because he turns and goes, "You're pushy, old man. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that."
Yeah.
Like, he clearly has a lot of respect for Miyagi because he's like, this guy can probably fuck me up. So
yeah, well, he sees like, okay, this guy took out 5 of my boys.
Yeah.
Like at once. So this guy's something.
Yeah. Miyagi and Daniel go to Miyagi's house or whatever to begin training. Miyagi gives him a nice speech about it's not whether Dan wins or loses, it's about gaining respect, which is totally true.
Mm-hmm.
And then I really like this talk after Miyagi goes, you ready to start? And Daniel goes, I guess so. And he goes, come here. If you walk on the side of the road, you're fine. You walk in the middle, you get squished. And it's the same thing with karate. You go for it, you don't go for it, fine. You do it in the middle, you're gonna get squished.
Yeah. There's so many like excellent little speeches like that.
Yeah.
Like, damn, this is good.
Yeah, and it's really like good transferring like metaphors, because you could take that metaphor into so many things in life.
Yeah, great teaching stuff.
Yeah. This is the iconic waxing the car scene, wax on, wax off.
Yeah.
Daniel finishes and he finds Miyagi meditating. Then at the school, Daniel tells Allie that he won't have problems anymore. And then he's like, watch this. And he like goes up to Johnny. He's like, hey, buddy, what's up?
Yeah. Great stuff.
Daniel goes to take Allie on a date and he's driven by his mom. And as they're about to leave, Allie's parents like get home and Daniel's mom's car doesn't work properly and they have to push the car. Daniel is understandably mortified by this. I would be also. And the father is already against Daniel. He's like, oh, you're from Encino or whatever? He's like, no, I'm from Reseda. And he's like, oh, Reseda, huh?
Yeah. Reseda Jones.
Very good. Very good.
Anything?
No. But we start to see the father like already like, no, you're from a poorer part of town. I don't like you.
Not with my daughter.
Yeah, pretty much, because that's what he does later.
Yeah. But like, I don't know, where's the empathy? Where's the sympathy? Like, oh,
it's the 80s.
These people are clearly down bad.
It's the 80s.
Yeah, that doesn't exist. Reagan
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Daniel and Allie have a really fun date until all the other kids make fun of Daniel for not having a car and getting driven by his mom. But like, I don't know. I don't think all of these kids have cars. They're all in one car.
Right. Hey, how about last year when you were driven around by your parents?
Yeah.
Because like get the fuck over it. What are you talking about? We just go with his mom. Oh, you don't hang out with your mom? You don't fucking. Like, what are you talking? Come on.
You know what's fun? That kind of shit happens when you're like 13. You look, go with your mom. When you're like 17, 18, it's like, oh, that's nice. You're spending time with your parents.
Right. And it's like, I remember, like, you know, where we used to live on Long Island, like, there was a diner down the road. So, like, sometimes we'd walk as a family to the diner.
Yeah.
And, like, my brother would be, like, a mile and a half in front of us. My parents are just like, it's just teenagers. And I was like,
yeah, that's what it is.
I guess I'll know when I'm older. But then I was older, I was like, yeah, no, we all have parents. So, like, I don't understand. Like, if you're gonna make fun of me for being with my family, I'll be like, okay, where do you live? You live alone?
Not have
do you?
One?
Do you have an apartment by yourself as a 16-year-old? Fuck off.
Daniel goes to Miyagi. He makes him sand the entire deck, right circle, left circle. He finishes, and Miyagi tells Daniel he'll be back there the next morning at 6 a.m.
I like how at the end of all these days, like, he's sore and he did it, and he like goes to see Miyagi, and Miyagi's just like, all right, see you tomorrow.
Yep, he goes, good job, like, see you tomorrow.
Yeah, like, when am I gonna learn karate? What's going on here? You can see it like building up. It's good.
Yeah. The next morning, Daniel arrives and Miyagi is trying to catch a fly with chopsticks again, and we get a man who can catch a fly with a chopstick can accomplish anything, and Daniel does it on his like first or third try or something like that.
Yeah.
And he gets
pissed.
Yeah, he's like, for you, that was beginner's luck.
Yeah.
Hey, I guess I can accomplish anything, right?
Yeah. He's like, stand the fence, or paint the fence, whatever.
He's got that little shit-eating grin on his face when he says it too. Miyagi has Daniel put like primer on the fence or something, and Daniel's starting to get frustrated when Miyagi only says, good job, next morning, start early. And then the next morning, it really starts to bubble over because Daniel arrives and there's just a note that says paint the house, not up and down, but side to side. And then when Miyagi gets home from fishing, he just starts yelling at him. He's like, all I've been doing is unpaid labor.
Yeah, he's like, why didn't you ask me if I wanted to go fishing? Maybe I wanted to go fishing.
That's when we get Miyagi finally showing Daniel the fruits of his labor, and he's like, show me sand the floor. And he gets down, he goes, get up.
Yeah.
And he does it twice.
Love it. Excellent stuff. And you see, like, again, I think the acting overall is excellent, especially for the 80s. Like, this movie is, dare I say, timeless.
Yeah.
But, like, the face that he's making as he's doing it, he's like, left, right, left. And, like, the look on Ralph Macchio's face, he's like, oh, this is karate.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because, like, you think about it, it's like, everybody pretty much knows how to throw a punch. It's just like, that's not
except
all
for
it
Lewis
is.
Pullman and Thunderbolts.
Of course, previous episode, check it out. But, like, you know, you could, your form doesn't really matter. It's like, if you make contact, you're gonna hurt somebody, but it's like how to use it rather than, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, so, and again, it brought me back to Dragon Ball, because I saw Dragon Ball before I saw this. And in Dragon Ball, Goku and Krillin are training with Master Roshi, and they're like, when are we going to learn how to fight? Because he's just having them, like, deliver milk and shit. And he's like, dude, you guys, everybody knows how to throw a punch, but this is, you're training your mind here. Like, karate's not just, like, beating the shit out of people. And that, like, that lesson, it's like, it's been done before, and I think this might be, like, one of the earlier iterations of it, but it's just such a great, like, timeless thing. Every time I see something like this, I'm never like, this old shit again. I'm like, cool, I'm into this. I like it.
Well, he's showing him the defense, because he tells them that karate is for self-defense mostly.
Right.
You know,
right.
You do karate, you learn karate, so you don't have to use karate. That's what they say later on.
Right.
And he's starting to see, because we see him get impatient again later when he goes, when do I learn to punch?
Right.
When do we get the guns?
Well, Miyagi is like, I hate fighting.
Yeah.
I don't like to do that. But if I have to do what's right, I will do it.
Yeah.
You know, you got to be ready. Like, yeah, man.
Miyagi uses the ocean to teach Daniel balance, and while Daniel is in the water, we see Miyagi doing the crane pose on a post. And then afterwards, some racists are just bullies to Miyagi and Daniel until Miyagi just chops the beers.
Yeah. Now, what he did was incredible, because why, like, the force in which you chop those beers, why wouldn't they just topple over? He just, like, crashes them. And he's like, how'd you do that? He's like, I don't know. It's the first time.
I loved that. I loved it. Yeah. I love Miyagi. Pat Morita is so good in this, and his little sly looks he gives, his little smiles, like, ha ha ha.
Yeah. Truly excellent stuff. He was nominated for an Academy Award.
He was for Best Supporting Actor. Probably had a really good chance of winning. I don't know who did win, but I know it wasn't him.
No, it wasn't.
Daniel and Miyagi go fishing, and Daniel continues to work on his balance. This is when we learn the reasons for learning karate, and then he flips him into the water, or Miyagi flips Daniel into the water and pisses himself laughing.
Yeah.
This is the funniest thing he's ever done, apparently.
Yeah.
And Daniel's like, you're crazy! You're crazy!
Yeah. He said, yucky toes!
Later on, we're at a dance, and Allie's dancing with her dad until Johnny cuts in and ultimately forces himself on Allie. Johnny sees it and is hurt because he doesn't understand what's going on, and he runs.
Sees it.
Yes, sorry. Danny sees it because he's hurt and he doesn't understand what's going on, and he runs right into the waiter, and everyone in the room is laughing at this kid. But also, we learn that Allie's dad doesn't like Daniel because he's from Reseda.
Yeah, but they like Johnny.
I guess because he's rich and he's blonde.
Yeah. Even though your daughter clearly hates him.
Yeah.
And just she cracks him right across the jaw.
Yeah, but this is a situation like everyone gets mad at Johnny because he's like, oh yeah, he kissed her, you kissed him, but no one takes any time to explain to him that's not really what happened.
Yeah, well, Danny, I think Johnny also did that because he saw Danny there.
Yeah, he did.
What a jerk.
He is a jerk. He forces himself on this poor girl.
Yeah.
In front of like everybody.
Yeah.
And even her parents are like, honey, what's the problem? It's the 80s.
You say thank you.
The movie then takes a really sad turn. I'm going to be honest. I don't need this.
See, I liked this. I thought this was really good. Also, Pat, what's his name? Morita. Flexing.
Yeah, he's getting drunk with a picture of his dead wife. He gives some booze to a teenager.
He's drunk.
He's kind of like Andy. He turns out Miyagi's wife died during childbirth while Miyagi was serving in the military. And it's like, all right, that's sad.
But they also, like, mention the internment camps.
They do.
Like, they were in the internment camps, and he was in the sect of the army where they took Japanese people from the internment camps and put them in the army, and they were like one of the most decorated soldiers of all time. And he was there, and that's I was honestly shocked that was in a movie in the 80s.
Yeah,
they didn't mention that.
I don't see the point. Like, it's just this big sad scene, and I don't think it adds anything to the movie. It just makes it sad.
Well, I think it helps with the characterization. Like, why is Miyagi doing this? It's not purely out of the goodness of his heart. He sees Daniel as a son that he never had.
Oh, that's why he keeps calling him Daniel's son.
That's excellent, Robbie. Excellent. But also, it makes you feel something, you know? I mean, I was like, damn, that's tragic. My wife cried. That's something. She always cries. She always cries because she's married to me.
Yeah, I would cry too.
Yeah. She's like, what have I done?
Oh, no.
Every morning she wakes up in tears.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, it's me. I'm Andy. No,
I'm here.
Hey, what do you want for breakfast? But yeah, I thought it was a great scene. And you know, we don't know what happened with Daniel's dad, but he clearly sees Miyagi as a pappy.
I think Daniel's dad's the reason they moved across the country.
Oh, maybe. But like, I don't know. I thought it was really good, and I think this scene is probably why he was nominated.
It's very possible.
Yeah.
But then Daniel decides, I'm gonna snoop through this guy's stuff.
Yeah. Learn a little bit more about your mentor.
That's rude.
Yeah, but you know, he's a kid.
Yeah. Well, he's not a kid. He's 17 years old. At 17 years old, you know not to do that.
Are they 17? They're 17.
They have fucking licenses and motorcycles.
That's true. They could be 16. Isn't that driving age in certain states?
I think they also say they're 17 at one point.
Oh, they do? Okay.
Yeah. Well, even because what's his face? Johnny at one point says, I'm a senior now.
Yeah. That means I could do anything.
Yeah. Early in the morning, Daniel goes to the beach to practice the crane kick. Miyagi teaches Daniel how to punch while wearing catcher's gear. That's really smart. And then Daniel gets cocky and starts dancing around, and Miyagi takes him down. He's like, I think you're too cocky. I think you're not taking this seriously. I think, it's really good.
I think you dance too much.
Yeah.
It's really good. He takes him down like nothing. He's
like it's not, yeah.
Yeah.
Miyagi gives Daniel a robe that his wife had made for him for his birthday gift.
But that's the payoff for that scene, I think.
Yeah.
You know, that was like, also, I'm an idiot because at first I was like, what, do you knit a sweater? That's cool. And then my wife was like, no, it's his gi. I was like, oh, okay.
And then you went, he's gi? But he likes Allie.
That's stupid. I loved it, though.
Thank you.
Loved it. Great job.
Miyagi also has a cake for Daniel, and like they're spending the birthday together until Daniel's like, oh, that's right. My mother wanted to spend my birthday with me, too.
Yeah.
Not
he is
just
caught up in this.
Yeah, not just this old man I just met.
I mean, they're best buds, though.
No, I understand that, but it's your birthday, and you've completely forgotten that your mother had planned something for you.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
why aren't they combined? Why aren't these two together doing this?
I think they should. A scene like that would have been great. You know, where because even at the end, like, we kind of forget about the mom. That's the one.
Yes.
The one issue I have with the movie is like, even at the end, I was like, does his mom even know he's doing this? And then we see her in the audience. So I was like, oh,
yeah.
Okay, I guess she's just here. I think a scene like what you just said would have went a long way in, you know, like, oh, okay, yeah, I felt all alone here. Now I got a family here. And is it small? Yes. But do they care about me? Yes. Look at this shit. It's beautiful. Love it. And also, I forget when, but he says, Mr. Miyagi, you're the best friend I ever had.
He says that right here when Miyagi... No, I don't know if it's right here, but Miyagi gives Daniel the car. And I think this is where he says, you're the best friend I ever had. And he goes, you're pretty okay, too.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. My heart was warmed. I had a fever.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. I had to be rushed to the hospital.
A heart fever.
Yeah. They said it was the first of its kind.
It's from eating all those Welch's gummy snacks.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an excellent callback. They're like, oh no, it's the combination. He ate Welch's gummy snacks and he watched Karate Kid. His heart was thoroughly warmed.
Daniel goes to see Allie at the golf and stuff. Allie wants nothing to do with him until her friends are... Okay, so Johnny has been a total prick to Dan this whole time. But her friends are much more against Dan than they were against Johnny.
Yeah, maybe it's because Johnny's probably got like a six-pack under there.
Yeah, probably.
Like, brother, you should wash some clothes on that dude's abs, brother.
Then finally, one of Allie's friends explains what happened at the country club. And it's like,
finally.
Hey, maybe if someone just explained that to this kid at first, we could have avoided this whole situation.
Yeah, and also, like, it's about time somebody's like, oh, Allie likes him. Maybe I should just like get behind this. Maybe I should just like support my friend rather than like.
Well, Andy, women hate women. Allie forgives Daniel. They kiss, and Daniel immediately lets Allie drive his new car.
Yeah, she's like, you let me drive? He's like, hey, it's the 80s.
And she immediately crashes it.
Right.
We're at the tournament. Miyagi tells the guy at the front desk that Daniel is a black belt. I like this. What belt? He goes, why does that matter? He goes, well, the tournament is only for brown or black belt. He's like, okay, black belt. No checking or anything. And they just steal a belt out of the guy's bag.
Great stuff. Loved it. I like how he grabbed Allie's arm because she was about to walk away. He's like, hold up. Places the belt in it as he's like, it's actually Miyagi.
Yeah, which I don't know how he was spelling it wrong. It's like no, you're spelling it right, but I think you were pronouncing it wrong in your head.
Yeah. It's just great distraction stuff.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Daniel wins his first fight. Allie yells, "You're the best," and then the song "You're the Best" starts playing. That's incredible, and we get the montage of Cobra Kai and Daniel having different fights. Really enjoyed this. We're finally getting some real karate in this movie.
And in the locker room, like one of the guys from Cobra Kai who's not Johnny is like, we got a score to settle. And I'm like, who is this guy?
Yeah, I know. But then I think that's the same guy who, like, we're in the semifinals and Johnny easily dispatches his opponent.
Yeah.
And then the sensei tells this guy, he's like, I want Daniel out of commission. He's like, I can beat him. And he goes, out of commission.
Yeah.
I think that's that same guy. Am I wrong?
Yeah, it is. I believe so.
Because the fight starts and he immediately does this illegal jumping kick to Johnny's like quad that gets him disqualified, or to Danny that gets this guy disqualified. Dan goes down in one shot and the fighter immediately is like an older brother. He's like, I'm sorry, Danny. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do it, Danny.
I honestly like that. I like that because the students of Cobra Kai, they're just products of this one psychopath.
Yeah.
Like telling them, no mercy, kill your opponents. Use this as a tool of oppression. And like, they're all like, wait, but we just want to throw punches. Like,
yeah. Well, you start to really see his students turn against him, because this guy doesn't want to do this. And even Johnny, when the teacher's standing there, Johnny's like looking at him like, what is wrong with you?
Sweep the leg. And Johnny's like, but that he's like, sweep the leg.
Yeah, like he wants to fight honorably.
Yeah.
And I do enjoy the dirty look Johnny's giving the sensei.
Yeah, yeah. And we got another great scene where they bring Danny back, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, Miss Miyagi. Well, he's like, everybody leave me alone for a second. He's like, except Miss Miyagi. Can you do that thing that you did? Like where you rub your hands together and you like magic heal me?
Daniel-san,
like,
that is called a happy ending.
and I can do that. I can do that for you. But you got to wait a couple of years because you're still not legal. You know?
Hey, listen, it's California. It's full of those kind of people out there.
That's truth, justice, and the American way, unfortunately. But I throughout the movie, I was like, how did he do that? It makes me think, I think it's more of a placebo effect.
I think so, too.
Yeah. Because he's not a magic old man. You know?
You never know. He's a magic. He's a magic man.
Get it, Robbie?
Morita.
Well, like, it's that would ruin the movie if he was a magic old man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You see like sparkles and stuff coming from his hands.
He throws a Kamehameha. Everybody's like, holy shit. Well,
that's how Dan won the fight. Kame. He's like, oh fuck, oh shit, oh shit.
Like the talk that they have, he's like, I don't remember it verbatim, but he's like, I want to win. He's like, remember, win, lose, like that's not what's important. But if this is what you truly want, and he doesn't say it, he just starts rubbing his hands together.
Yeah.
And then it goes to the next scene, and I was like, that's really good, because they did show not tell. Great stuff.
And
loved it.
Dan moves around really well as this fight gets going because he gets the first 2 points.
Yeah, and that's when the bad guys like sweep the leg, and he's like, "But that's dirty."
Yep.
Like, yeah, that's us, dude. We're the bad guys.
We're here to win.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how you win, matters if you win.
Yeah.
Johnny gets the next 2 points, and then in a last-ditch effort, as the music is swelling, Daniel hits the crane kick for the win. He delivers this square to Johnny's nose.
Hell yeah, brother. It's great stuff. Great stuff.
Oh yeah, really good. And I also like that Johnny hands the trophy to Daniel as a sign of goodwill and a sign of respect.
He says, Danny, you're okay.
Yeah.
Something like that.
And then we get the iconic Miyagi proud smile. And it cuts the credits.
Great stuff. I did not expect a truly great movie.
I did not either. I was surprised at how well this aged. I was surprised at how much I enjoyed this. I mean, really, from second one till second last, I enjoyed every moment.
I didn't really know what you were saying there, but then I got it.
Yeah. I said second last because I was like, I don't know how many seconds this movie was. I have no idea.
Robbie, let me ask you a question though. Does this make you interested in the rest of this franchise?
Not really.
Do you think that this franchise peaked right here?
Listen, without seeing anything else, yes.
Same, but people really like Cobra Kai.
People do like that show, so I mean, I might check it out, but I feel like I would have to watch the other 2 movies.
Yeah, I don't know. I might take that journey. I don't know if I find time.
Yeah, like I said, I'd probably watch. I don't know if I'd watch all 4 because there are 4 Karate Kid movies in the original.
There's 4.
Yes, because there's also the next Karate Kid with Pat Morita and Hilary Swank.
I thought that was Karate Kid 3.
Nope, Karate Kid 3 still has Ralph Macchio and Pat Morita.
Huh.
And then there's the next Karate Kid, and then there was the Karate Kid with Jaden Smith.
And Jackie Chan, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if that one counts. Although
well, they're coming back in this new one. Yeah. Or at least Jackie Chan is.
But is he the same character from that one?
I'd imagine. You can't just...
I don't know. Maybe they're doing a... Hey, forget that last one.
Maybe. Yeah. And Ralph Macchio's back, too.
Yeah.
Well, Andy, do you want to go to Letterboxd?
Yes.
Andy, I really enjoyed this. I think the only thing I didn't like about this movie really was the constant inundation of music throughout the whole thing.
Okay.
Other than that, I think the acting is really good. I think the story is good. This is a feel-good 80s movie that holds up really well 40 years later. You said timeless. I think it is absolutely timeless. I think it's a 4.5-star movie.
I think I'm with you, Robbie. I think I'm with you. I would have went 4, but 4.5 is good. 4.5 is good for me.
Let's do it. We're going to give The Karate Kid 4.5 stars on Letterboxd because we both really enjoyed this. I was very surprised.
Yeah.
Very
same.
surprised at how much I enjoyed this movie from front to back.
Yeah. Side to side. You know?
That's how I wipe. Side to side.
There's got to be a better way, Robbie. Unless your ass crack goes horizontal.
My ass crack is across.
So you have 4 cheeks.
Yeah, 4 cheeks. It opens up like a flower when I poop.
Wow. That's truly disturbing.
It is truly disturbing, but you know what's not...
That being said, I'd love to see it.
Okay, well, I'll show you that, but I'll also show you the 4 trivia questions that I have.
Okay. It seems like you really want to move on from your 4 ass cheeks. And
I do.
Flower butthole.
I do. I want
to now. I say you break. I say you break it out, brother.
On the Patreon.
Okay, I have 3. I have 3 trivia.
All right, I'll go first. At the beginning of the movie, what is the name of the motel that their car breaks down at? The Canyon Royale, the Canyon Resort, Canyon Portal, or Canyon Pines?
Canyon Resort.
It is not Canyon Resort.
What was the first one?
Canyon Royale.
That one.
It is not Canyon Royale.
Canyon Pines.
It is not Canyon Pines. It is, in fact...
It's gotta be Canyon Portal.
It is Canyon Portal, yes.
That's what I said, Robbie.
You know what? I gotta get my hearing checked.
You sure does. How old was Ralph Macchio during filming? Was he 17, 19, 22, or 24?
19.
No.
17.
No.
22?
22.
He looks like a baby.
He looks like a little baby boy.
How much does Mr. Miyagi's belt cost? $3.98, $2.98, $1.98, $4.98.
$3.98.
It is $3.98 from JCPenney.
Yeah. Who was offered the role of Daniel? Was it Patrick Swayze, Sean Penn, or Jason Bateman?
Sean Penn.
Yes.
Yeah, I read that. Oh. What is Daniel's mom's car's license plate number? 353H3K, H03A55, 800H13, 335H2K.
The second one.
It is not H03A55, which spells hoe-ass.
The third one.
It is not 800813, which spells boobies.
Damn.
Is it 353H3K, 335H2K?
I can't put these together in my head. The first one?
353H3K, 335H2K.
Yeah, the first one?
No, it's not the first one.
Oh, the fourth one.
It is the fourth one, 335H2K.
What does that spell?
Nothing. Neither first and fourth spell nothing. I just thought hoe ass and boobies were funny.
That is funny.
Yeah.
What was You're the Best originally written for? What movie? Is it Rocky 2, Rocky 3, or Rocky 4?
Rocky 3.
Correct.
Hey.
Yeah. But they opted to go with Eye of the Tiger.
Makes sense. Better song.
Better song. More iconic.
Yeah. Who was the winner of the first match in the open division? You can credit Laura with this question because she heard the PA say it at the beginning of the tournament. The winner of the first... Yes, very good. Transylvania. Vampires. Who was the winner of the first match in the open division? Frank Charm, Johnny Cage, Rufus Tyler, William Guile.
Two of those are video game characters.
That is true.
I'm going to go the third one.
It is Rufus Tyler, yes.
Hell yeah. Classic Rufus.
Yeah. Roofie boy. No, he's the... Oh. That's the 80s, so...
Yeah, that's everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Andy, you'll never guess what I did.
I always guess what you did, Robbie.
All right, guess what I did?
You wrote a song.
You got it. You nailed it.
Yeah, brother. Yeah, brother.
Did you write a song? Probably not.
Yeah. Dude, it's every week we do this.
What?
Yeah. We do it every week.
Holy hell. All right.
We write a song every week, people.
You know what else I have? That is impressive. Undressive. Undress for me. All right. You know what else I have?
Is it a pick to flip?
It's a pick to flip. So why don't you call this in the air, okay?
Tails.
It is Tails.
Okay. I'll go first.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my song is called Bonsai. And it is about the Karate Kid. I used my synth pedal because it's the 80s, baby.
Very good.
And like you said, the music in this movie is very synthy. Because it's the 80s, baby. I find ever since I got, like, the last time I got sick, my vocals, everything's so hard to do. So I'm probably gonna try and re-record these vocals. So if they sound like shit, sorry. But that being said, this song is called Bonsai, and it sounds like this. That's my song called Bonsai.
I like it. The synth pedal sounds really good.
Thank you. I did that, and I used an 80s setting on my electric drum set, which is back there. Check that out. For the YouTubers, check that out. Yeah, everybody's talking about it. Just about everybody. I also used my Stratocaster.
Very cool.
Tuned in E flat, believe it or not, Robbie.
Wow.
Everybody's talking about that. Like everybody's talking about it. But yeah, when I think 80s, I think a Strat sound, I think for like, that pop, the pop stuff. They usually, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But like yeah, I figured let me try and do like a cheesy 80s, you could do this type song, like You're the Best or I Have the Tiger and stuff like that.
Right. I like it.
In that vein. Robbie, tell us about your song.
My song is a rock and roll song. It's called Kid Fights. Because this movie's about kid fights. And yeah, so that's the name of my song, Kid Fights, and it goes exactly like this. That was my song called Kid Fights.
Robbie, did you stub your toe there at the end?
I did.
Ow!
Ow! Yeah. I got bitten by a snake.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Well, it was a small snake though. Also, some would say a worm.
So not a snake at all.
No, I got bitten by a worm.
Do worms even Have teeth? I don't understand.
I'll show you a worm with teeth, baby boy.
Stay away from me, Robbie, at all costs.
Yeah.
I liked your song. It was very high energy.
Thank you. Yeah.
I like it.
I wanted to go with something. I watched the movie and I just started singing to myself, "Kid Fights," and that was the end of it. I was like, all right, it's gonna be a song called "Kid Fights."
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I like the in the guitar solo you did a real squeedly, squeedly, squeedly.
Yeah. I just kind of went with it. I was having a good time. I
Yeah.
had a good
We
time
call
with
those
it.
in the biz, we call those squeedlies.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah.
That is true. Yeah. Yeah, it's called Kid Fights. I also use a synth setting on, but I use the MIDI because it's 80s.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
wanted
Hell
to
yeah.
give it an 80s sound
Sounded good. I like it.
and yeah, I thought it would have if it would have fit in with the soundtrack of the rest of the movie, I thought. I used my Telecaster, which is right back there.
Whoa.
Yeah, and I used this MIDI, which is right here. I didn't use the ukulele that's on top of the MIDI, but that's just where the ukulele lives.
Mm.
On top of the MIDI when I'm not using the MIDI. And then I used this keyboard to help me find my harmonies. I don't know. We were all showing what we use. And then I used my bass. You can see my bass back there too with all my filters.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
What a cool thing. I have a saxophone over there, but I didn't use that either. Mainly because I know how to play like 4 notes in a row on the saxophone.
That's all you need, brother.
I'm not a good saxophone player. The one track that I had saxophone on in this podcast, I used my buddy Mark Callie came on and blew the sax for us. But that had nothing to do with what we just talked about. So yeah, no, that was my song. Kid Fights. I just wanted to do a high energy 80s song that would kind of fit in with the movie.
Nice. I liked it.
Thank you. Well, Andy, we've done it. We wrote songs about the Karate Kid.
We sure did. Oh, you mind if I ask you a question? It's a little personal.
All right. I'll be honest.
And you could listen. You could okay. That's you could cut this out if you want because it is relatively personal. But what do we got going on next week?
All right. Well, that's definitely getting cut.
Well, why though?
Because we're doing John Wick 3 Parabellum.
Oh my goodness.
Getting ready for Ballerina.
Ballerina.
From the world of John Wick, Ballerina. That is the full name of the movie.
Guys, a ballerina? I barely know her.
Ballerina? You must have seen her. A dancer in the only thing.
You okay?
Nah, I have a stroke every time I sing Elton John. It's weird.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Tune in next week for John Wick 3, Parabellum.
I got kicked off a plane once just for singing Elton John.
What'd you sing?
I ran up and I said, "Take me to the pilot."
That's good.
Thank you.
That's good, Robbie. Well, you can find our music at Spotify, Deezer, Apple Music, wherever you get your music.
Slap nuts.
Slap nuts.
That's a Jeff Jarrett reference.
I don't know who that is.
He's a wrestler. He used to call his opponents slap nuts. He used to hit him with a guitar.
It's pretty good. You search the Royds, ROYDS, and you'll find a lot of our music. Some from this podcast, some not. But if you want everything, including guest songs, bonus songs, everything, you go to TheRoyds.bandcamp.com. Well over, it's got to be 300 songs at this point.
Andy, this is episode 162.
So it is well over 300 songs. Wow.
Wowzers.
Wowzer. Also, the YouTube has all of the songs as well. Robbie, tell us a little more about the socials.
You go to Instagram. You go to TikTok. You go to YouTube. You type in TheRoydsBand. There we are. There we be. Click the link and you'll see you can interact with us. You can request a movie for us to do. You can send us a DM. You can send us an email at roydsreview@gmail.com. You also may be listening or watching the podcast on YouTube. If you are, please like, subscribe, comment down below. It really helps us out. I've already said follow us on Letterboxd at TheRoydsBand. Any way you'd like to interact with us, Reddit at TheRoydsBand. We also have a subreddit for the Royds Review Podcast where you can request a movie there. So we'd love to hear from you. We love interacting with people.
Yeah, thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for telling your friends.
It is greatly appreciated.
We truly appreciate that.
Thank you for telling your karate teacher, your best friend, your karate teacher.
Your best friend, your karate teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Well, next week, John Wick 3, Parabellum, and I believe we will see his lady.
Bye, everybody.